Hello visual creators, today we're talking about the AI headlines that are affecting your world. AI isn't just helping you make paintings, it's now authenticating Caravaggio. Yes, the AI we usually talk about for generating landscapes or surreal portraits just told us one of history's most revered masters was genuine. Everybody's mind is blown. So today on AI X Visuals, we're diving into how AI is reshaping what it means to create, curate, and consume visuals. Everything from painting, animation, and CGI to 3D modeling, short-form video, and even museum-level art authentication. By the end of the episode, you'll not only understand what's happening in these spaces, but you'll also walk away with some practical insights you can apply in your own work, whether that's experimenting with AI tools, protecting your creativity, integrity, or spotting opportunities that others might miss. We'll cover a wild Cambridge exhibition questioning authorship, an AI-powered short-form video feed from Meta that maybe nobody asked for, Nvidia's latest 3D workflow wizardry and reflections from Nick Park, the genius behind Wallace and Gromit. I know you guys know it and love it, I do, on creativity in the age of AI. So buckle up, this one's going to be fun, slightly surreal, and as always, visual. First up is an exhibition in Cambridge called Is This All Your Own Work? And yes, that's the actual title. So artist Peter Macdonald is collaborating with AI. We talk a lot about collaboration and the tool that AI is to create gestural paintings that nod to classical landscapes while embracing some contemporary weirdness. So the big question is, who is really making the art? Is it the human, is it the AI, or is it the magical collision of both? So culturally, it's kind of fascinating because for centuries, we've lionized the singular genius artist. And today, AI is kind of complicating that narrative. So technically, AI is essentially acting like a hyper-observant assistant. You know, it's going to be able to remix brushstrokes, suggest some color palettes, or even generate variations on a theme, but it's still the human who curates it and tweaks it and decides what becomes finished. So what are the implications to you as a visual creator or consumer? So one, you can co-create with AI, but your role is going to shift a little bit from doer to director if you so choose. In the larger studios, they're likely going to do that, but you as a creative can obviously choose what you want to do. But I'm always pushing the idea that you want to understand the tools, whether or not you use them, just so you can decide, that you're doing something possibly directly in contrast to it on purpose. It's going to open doors to exploring styles or ideas that you might have been impossible for you to do solo. And that's a thing I constantly get back to here in AI X Visuals. That's what I talk about in gaming and music. It's now you have opportunities for things you didn't previously. And it's why the studios are taking a little bit of guff, because when you're getting efficiency in the studio, you're firing people. And so people are perceiving that as a loss of talent, which it is. But for a small creator who never had those things, possibly would have never had those things, now you're able to get your art out there and compete with these larger studios and create something closer to your vision. Or you can make AI slop. We'll have both. So make sure to focus on what you want to do, use it how you need to use it. Be authentic about it, and people will be okay with the AI in your art. And lastly, for the takeaway, it's going to be challenging the art market and galleries in general. So provenance, authorship, and originality are suddenly a little bit less clear-cut. And it's interesting that this is taking place in the gallery spaces, and often those spaces may be a little bit more possibly not happy to see AI. So it's interesting that they're allowing these sort of things, but you do see that this one is obviously branded as an AI experiment thought process. So it's not just sort of like, here's some paintings we didn't tell you are AI. It's a guy kind of asking questions about AI as it relates to gallery art. So what are your takeaways that you can specifically see? Number one, experimenting with AI as a creative partner is going to be something you want to focus on. Not just the tool, but let it collaborate with you. Let it give you ideas off of your ideas. Bounce some things off of you. you don't have to use everything it gives you. You can let it prototype, maybe open up something in your mind. Possibly it's something a friend would have suggested. Again, you don't have to, but it's something to try and take away with, because a lot of other people are going to have this assistant. And when you really think about it, a lot of the high-end film studios have plenty of assistants doing some of the things they are just saying for them. Those people have value, obviously, but if you can't attain that level, you now have it in your pocket. And remember, think critically about authorship. It's becoming a lot more fluid. So we talk about this a lot in AI music. It's who is going to own the final product? We don't know legally yet. The gavel has not dropped on all the legal implications of AI. So make sure to read the contracts of any of the tools you're using, any of the films you're making through certain tools. Who owns it? What kinds of rights do you have if you hit it big, if your movie gets picked up, if something, merchandising from it, whatever it is, you need to think critically about it before it hits you. So I want you to be playing with it, but don't over rely on it, and make sure that you know which parts you're using and what legally you'll be able to use going forward. So for you guys, if you collaborated with AI on a painting or a CGI process, would you sign it as only your own work? Would you give it credit to the AI? Would you give it to both of you? And I'd love to hear why and how you guys are moving forward with AI. If you're using it, if you're just watching it, let me know why you're here, why you're interested in how this is evolving. Are you a consumer of it? Or are you a creator of it? Please let me know in the comments so we can have a chat about it next week. So we mentioned this briefly, AI authenticating the Caravaggio. So this was a big twist that a lot of people didn't see coming. AI was actually used to authenticate a painting that was previously thought to be a copy. The Lute Player, sold by Sotheby's years ago, it turned out to be a genuine Caravaggio. So AI apparently went in and analyzed the brushwork, the layering, the style, and essentially acted like a forensic art detective. So for creators, it's a bit of a reminder that AI isn't just for making art, it can change the way we understand art history itself. So imagine if every art student or historian had a tool that could instantly analyze and cross-reference every technique of a master painter. So now the AI is doing the paintings, but you can use the same process it works by to get ideas for you to better learn, to better enhance, to better see work, to connect lines that otherwise might not have been connected through the art world, to make new connections and tell new stories. So it really depends on how and how far you're incorporating the concept and where AI tech is still left to go. We have a lot of interesting tech, but so far it's packaged sort of not as usefully as it could be for the masses. I mean, obviously it's an enormously useful product, but some of the AI editing suites are still a little bit basic, and we're slowly getting there. And it's VO, for example, has stepped up a lot, even just simply from the landscape to the portrait. But some things, as far as we've been used to through Final Cut Pro and other programs and such, we're not there yet. So we will eventually reach that, hopefully, or not hopefully, but you let me know. So what are the implications for you as a visual artist? So AI is going to be able to validate and challenge some assumptions in your field potentially. So it might be useful in galleries, auctions, or digital marketplaces. So even art curators might have something new and interesting to look at. Another implication is it's going to raise the stakes for originality, because AI might one day tell us whatever a work is truly unique or derivative. This plays a lot into collectibles, card games, things like that. AI is going to have implications there, and especially in the art world. And if you consider things like Pokemon cards and other collectibles art, then we're right there. And also it could influence value perception. So if AI says it's authentic, collectors could pay attention to you. So it's kind of a niche problem, but it's a very interesting concept that can sort of go further. And it's going to also challenge the question of, are we going to be able to tell when things aren't human if they're AI? How can we do that? A lot of people have raised the idea of the blockchain potentially coming back and making a reappearance. Not crypto exactly as you might know it, but the idea of the blockchain as an authenticator. So these are all things we're going to be playing into as we go forward, and it's an interesting thing in the art world. So what are your listable takeaways from this thing? Number one, consider AI your research assistant, not just a creative assistant. So it can help you research, not just, obviously you're not going to be, checking if something's valid or real every day like you're at Pawn Stars or something. But it can be a research assistant for you in your art, in your story, and how you work. It can help you bring in new concepts, tie together ideas of different methods and methodologies of making your CGI piece, your artistic work. You want to maybe reference somebody from another period. It's all going to be more possible when it's brought to you succinctly. Historical accuracy and style study can be enhanced by AI analysis, and prepare for a world where authenticity may have a digital fingerprint. That's what we talked about a little bit. Again, it's going to tie back to the copyrights and how you're going to be able to prove what's yours. Document your process, send yourself emails. If you sketch something and then prototype with AI, document that. May be useful for you in the future. So, would you guys trust an AI to authenticate a work of art, or do you think human experts will always have the final say? And I'll be honest with you personally, I'm a little bit skeptical. I'm not sure if it got it right or wrong. Have we been wrong this whole time and it just solved the problem, or is it being overconfident? I don't know. Maybe we'll hear more about it. Possibly I need to dive more into the process they went through. So our third story is going to be some more meta vibes. So they've created a new AI video feed. It's called Vibes, and it's a short form video feed that's entirely AI generated. So basically it's your Facebook feed, but they went, you know what? All AI. So think kittens baking cakes, Egyptian princesses taking selfies. It's all that. It's not really just entertainment. It's kind of a playground for AI-driven visual experimentation. So I think they're trying to pull you into this visual creating space to compete in at least some way with not only, TikTok and everything else, but with AI companies themselves, because they're dipping their toes in AI, but Facebook and Meta are a little bit off on their own thing as far as the progress is going. So this is, I think, their way of jumping into it and grabbing people. So far, it's been a little bit, mixed reception. People are like, why do we need this? But I actually think people are going to jump in and have some fun with it. It's an interesting thought. I don't know if it'll survive. It's got possibly some Threads vibes, which has got its thing, but kind of fizzled out. So for filmmakers and animators and digital artists, this is representing a whole new frontier, and AI is going to be able to produce rapid iterations, remix concepts, and even generate social media ready visuals that you can automatically see how people respond. So you're not going to need a full production pipeline anymore. So technically it's using generative video AI trained on vast databases to suggest ideas, motions, and aesthetics, and they have a whole corpus of information from Facebook feeds from the last 20 years. So I'm sure that it's going to be an interesting thing to look at. Take a look at it, download it. It's called Vibes. Again, play with it, see what you think. At least see what your competition's doing, and if you don't love it. So what are the artist implications of this one? It's going to open doors to pre-visualization, quickly prototyping concepts before committing to expensive shoots. Social media content can be augmented or entirely created with AI, which is already happening, and it's lowering the barriers to entry. And it's raising questions, however, about copyright ownership and ethical usage. So again, always check the contracts of anything that you make or use and document your process. What are your 3 takeaways? 1, use AI to prototype and visualize concepts quickly. Just give it a shot. Try it. You know what I mean? You don't have to keep it. Play with it. Maybe it gives you an idea. Number 2, experiment with AI content for social media engagement. Throw out a few, see what happens. And especially on TikTok or something like that, it's so fast and it moves through. People worry it's going to affect their brand. 1 or 2 video attempts, not gonna mess with it. See what happens. Work it into your brand. Try it. Let people know what's going on. And 3, stay aware of the ethical boundaries. I'm hammering it home, and copyright implications. We do not know what is going to happen. We have some cases, but nothing is in stone. Everything is in the air. Be careful about what you use. Document. Now for you guys, if AI could generate any short video idea for you instantly, what would you make? Would you publish it as your own? Would you tell us it's AI? Do you hate AI? Let me know. I want to chat with you guys. And remember, once we get to 50 subscribers, which is our small little goal, so I appreciate you guys following, we'll be able to go live on YouTube and do these episodes live and hopefully have some discussions with you, open up some phone lines and talk with you guys, have a discussion, have some opinions, have some guests. So I do appreciate you guys following me, telling your friends to follow. We're only looking for 50, and I appreciate you guys. Small steps. Number 4, Nvidia's blueprint for 3D modeling. So this is for anybody who is a 3D artist. Nvidia has created a product called Blueprint. So you're going to think about it as a co-pilot, but for 3D artists, which has been a little bit tough. We've had some products that do some 3D imaging, but it's hit or miss. It's not always great. There's a lot of work to be done after the fact. So what this one does is it takes and automates repetitive tasks like rigging, texturing, rendering, prep, freeing you to focus more on the creative choices that matter to you in the story. Essentially, it's going to be like a master intern, which is what some studios have, so don't feel too bad about having one. Never sleeps, never complains, and does what you need. Artistically, it is transformative because studios and indie animators and 3D designers are going to be able to iterate faster, explore new aesthetics, scale work that previously required a large team, and now it's just you. But technically, Blueprint leverages AI models that are trained on millions of 3D assets to predict workflows and optimize outcomes. Now, I'm not certain, and I'm not certain if they've disclosed what their copywriting is on that. So again, keep in mind that this stuff is not necessarily defined. Even if they tell you it is, it's still open to interpretation. Keep it in mind as we move forward here. And we'll keep you up to date when we give you the green light that everything's fine to use. I don't know if that's how we're going to do it, but I think we're moving in that direction. So what are the implications of this product? Workflows are going to become more fluid as AI handles the grunt work and lets you be a larger team by yourself. You're going to have a risk of a homogenization. As always, if everyone's using the same AI defaults, visual styles may start to converge. Again, we saw that with just plugins, musically, and in studios we saw things converge from time to time with trends. So AI is going to obviously amplify that because more people have access to that, but it's just another thing to separate from, just another competitor. You're still in the fight. And the last one's going to be an opportunity to focus on storytelling, composition, and unique design flourishes. So possibly, I don't know how the designers who view this are going to feel, but for people that aren't design professionals but want to tell a story may have more access to your world now. So I'd love to hear what you guys think about that coming in. Are you happy people are joining the ecosystem? Are you angry? Are you worried about the work? Does it bother you on an artistic level? Leave me a comment. I'd love to know where you guys are all at on that. So your 3 takeaways for this story are going to be: 1, use AI to handle repetitive 3D tasks. It's okay to use them if you're being upfront. There's some things that don't need you to do it every step of the way, potentially. If you hate it and that's your marketing goal, fine. But these things are here to help you. You can find a line that's acceptable, but stay in line with the contract and make sure that there is some stuff that you're actually building and contributing, not just AI slopping into games. Preserve your creative fingerprint. Don't let AI templates dominate. And not only that, it's not just about the creativity and being different. If you don't have a documented process of where you started and where you finished, and you can't prove that your humanity was in there, there's a good chance you're going to lose any rights to anything that ever comes of it. So if that matters to you, make sure to be careful with it. And the third one is going to be test and tweak AI suggestions to maintain originality. Don't just use what it says. Add yourself. Put your concepts in there. Give it feedback. It's your partner. It's not dictating to you. That's not the point. It's a tool. It's a collaborator. Play with it correctly. And our last story here is going to be about Nick Park and his views on AI and creativity. So he is the genius, in my opinion, behind Wallace and Gromit. I think we all love that story. Claymation in general, one of the best in my view. A wonderful series you should all go back and see. So he's been reflecting on AI and storytelling, and he's acknowledged AI's capabilities, but he's emphasizing the human touch, which is what I've been emphasizing. Intuition, imagination, the sparks that really are going to make the story resonate. So for animators, photographers, visual storytellers, it's a grounding reminder that AI is going to be able to assist you, but it doesn't replace the magic of human judgment. And I would argue that something about the handmade nature of claymation is what drew you into that story. It was fun. It worked with everything else around it. Can you replicate that with AI? Likely. Is it the same? Is there something that we add to the claymation to show that it's real? Meaning we pull the camera back? I don't know. It's something to play with, but it's another competitor. It's not necessarily the end goal, because I don't think it's just the visual of claymation, because the original Wallace and Gromits are a bit rough. Not rough, obviously they're very well done, but AI could have made it cleaner. But is that what we wanted? It's like a vinyl record. So these things will exist both ways, and you'll be able to create in any direction that you feel you want to. So what are the implications for visual creators based on what Nick Park was talking about? So he says AI can generate, but emotional nuance and narrative coherence are always going to remain human-led. I do agree with that. Can AI eventually become human enough to have its own opinion? Sure, but that's just another opinion, and you know what we say about opinions. Learn from AI without outsourcing your voice entirely. It's a reality. You are still you. That's all. And use AI for inspiration, iteration, exploration, but let your human sensibilities guide the story. Talk to it when you need to, as if it's an assistant. But if you don't feel it, don't use it. It's like anything else in art. Do what makes it work for you and how you want to tell the story. But in this landscape, if it's about marketing and getting your story out there, sometimes speed and knowing your competition is going to matter. So what are your 3 takeaways here? Balance AI tools with your creative instincts, always important. 2, protect the human element that makes work memorable. And 3, explore AI for experimentation, but retain your authorship. Keep a fingerprint of what you've created. Now for you guys, how much of your creative process do you or would you trust AI with, and where do you guys draw the line? I'd love to know what you guys are playing with, which apps you're messing with, what part of the industry you're in. If you're just a solo indie creator, you're just a hobbyist, let me know where you're at with it and how you feel about the whole process. So now to round out, what are the threads that all tie these stories together? So AI, again, is no longer a tool. It's a collaborator, researcher, co-director, sometimes a critic. And for visual creators, the landscape is shifting very rapidly. Experimentation is moving a lot faster. It's a lot more accessible. Authorship, originality, and authenticity are being redefined, and they're becoming even more important. Workflows and social distribution are increasingly AI augmented, but human judgment, taste, storytelling are going to remain irreplaceable, or if they're replaced, we'll come up with something even newer. And the actionable steps I want you to take today before we leave and before I see you next week is take AI in some low-stakes experiments. Take some sketches, some drafts, do some pre-visualizations and throw them in there. Throw some styles by. See what it gives you. See if you like it. See if you hate it. See if it inspires you. Let us know. Drop the image in the comments and we'll chat about it. Number 2, I want you to document your creative decisions to preserve your authorship and intention, meaning if you sketch something, photograph it, send it to yourself in an email, or have it in your camera roll, date it. Show the prototyping process. Make a YouTube video about the process. That's part of the marketing too. Keep a footprint of what you're doing so you can prove it's you. And for authenticity's sake, stay informed. That's number 3. On copyright, AI ethics, and digital ownership, the contracts are going to mess you up if you don't listen to them. And we will be updating you here every week, so stick with us. Ask your questions. If we don't have the answer, we'll find it for you. And number 4, embrace AI as a partner, not a replacement. We're not doomers. And keep the human touch front and center. It's always going to be the most important. So remember, knowledge is power. That's what we try to give you here. So whether you adopt these AI tools tomorrow, if you're already using them, if you're just watching the trends, if you're understanding the landscape allows you to make smarter, more intentional creative choices. In a world where kittens bake cakes and Caravaggio paintings are authenticated by AI, intentionality has never mattered more, so really hold on to that. So I think authenticity and good, true things are going to, in a weird, backwards way, be amplified by the abundance of garbage, and that's a beautiful thing. So that's going to be it for today's episode of AI X Visuals. Please keep creating, experimenting, and remember, AI is powerful, but your imagination is what's always given it meaning. Please stick around for next week's. Send us some comments, send me a DM, and we will see you next time. I appreciate you guys sticking around.